Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hardworking Man Podcast. I'm Rachel.
And I'm Heath.
And we have a few things we want to touch on before we get going today. The first one being we're going to be on Brock from Rock Hill Farms. He's on YouTube. If you don't know his channel, check him out. He does lives with various YouTubers. I think he recently had on Neil from Dig Drive DIY and Adam from Hometown Acres. So he invited us to come on to his live stream, and that's going to be Monday, January 22nd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to tune in. We'd love to have you all that usually pop on our lives come over there and talk with us.
Right. We want you guys there to interact with us, you know. If you have questions for us, for Brock, for anything, like put them in there, because that's what makes the lives, is the interaction with people that watch our show, and you know, that's what it's all about. So check that one out, and we'll be there. Hopefully you guys will be too.
Right. If you've never been on one of the live streams and you don't know what it looks like, there's a chat box on the side once you get in there, and you can just see people talking. Just pop in and just simply say, hey guys, and that's all. Like, it makes us feel good to know that you're watching and you're, you know, interacting with us. It's just, that's what makes the lives fun, is talking back and forth too.
It's how you get to know people, like in the community, because people will just chat with each other in the lives while the live's going on. Like, it's just a way to interact with everybody and get to know people, learn stuff, and just have a good time. So. Right.
So don't be shy. Don't be embarrassed. Don't worry about it. Hop in. We want to talk to you. We want to hear from you. And so does everybody else. It's, you know, more fun to talk to other people and not be sitting there with crickets.
And then the other thing we have coming up is January 28th. If you don't know who Brad is, he has a channel also, Firewood at the Furnace. And he does a thing called Fellowship at the Furnace. He did it last year, and it's just a big wood splitting event for everyone to get together, you know, different YouTubers, people who watch YouTube, just people that want to get together, hang out, make firewood, get to know each other, and have a good time. So it's like a live in person. So we're going to be there, weather permitting. You know, if it's going to be terrible weather and bad roads, we're not going to drive all the way down to Maryland, but hopefully the weather cooperates, and Rachel and I will be heading down there to join in Fellowship at the Furnace. So there will be videos coming from that. I'm sure people will be going live from that as well. But you're going to want to check that out and just see. It's just a good time of everyone getting together in this community, just, you know, having fun together, which is what it's all about. So.
It is. And I don't think anyone's come away from any of these events and said that was a waste of time. That really sucked. Everyone always has fun.
Yeah, a great time. You get to know people, and more so than you do just watching YouTube or interacting on the live streams. It's a lot of fun. So make sure to check those things out.
Right. Go to Brad's channel. He has a video on there where it gives all the details about where it's located, what you need to bring. And he does have like a sign up, a Google form, I believe, to fill out if you are going to come. So he has a head count because, is it Wolcott Farms is making the food there. So they want to know who all is going to be there, so they know how much food to have. So, and
if you're in the area and you're thinking about going, show up. Don't be shy. Like, if, you know, people are worried, like, oh, I didn't know if I was supposed to come because I don't have a YouTube channel or I'm a small channel. Like, it doesn't matter. It's just people having fun, hanging out, like-minded people getting to know each other and having fun. So
running some splitters. It's basically an Easton Made show.
Yeah, Andrew's going to be there from Easton Made. There's going to be a bunch of different Easton Made equipment there that you can run, check out, and
you want to see them in person,
learn about it. You know,
run them in person.
It's hard to see more than what's on the internet with these machines a lot of times, unless you go to one of the Paul Bunyan shows or the New York State Woodsman's Field Days. Like, this is another opportunity where you can check out some Easton Made equipment and see what it's all about.
Right. Meet the man behind the name.
Right. Andrew's a lot of fun. His whole crew's a lot of fun. So.
All right. So that's coming up, which, I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to that. I don't know that I love the idea of the travel.
I'm not looking forward to the drive.
The drive. We say it's like, oh, it's 8-9 hours. Like, that's not far. But once
it's probably really 12 or 13.
You think so?
I mean, you got to stop and eat and
you have
get
to
gas
stop
and go to the bathroom. Like, I've got a micro bladder. I have to stop constantly to go to the bathroom. It's terrible for traveling. But hopefully, speaking of traveling, we're going to talk about a couple things we're loving and a couple things we're hating right now. And one thing I'm hating right now is driving, because finally winter's arrived. And I swear, like, we live in Michigan. We have winter every single year where it's snow, it's ice, it's black ice, it's everything. And every single year, the first snow or two of the year, nobody remembers how to drive in it. There are cars in the ditch everywhere you go. People pulling out in front of you, people getting stuck. Like, it happens every year, people. Like, it shouldn't be that hard to get used to. As winter progresses, people get better at it. People slow down. People relearn how to drive. But it's just a natural phenomenon that every single year, the first few snows of the year, nobody remembers how to drive in them.
Yeah, which is so weird because everybody complains and they all say the same thing. No one else. So who are all these people that, aren't? Because we know how to drive in the snow. It's not a surprise, and we do good at it. But other people...
Now we're probably going to go in the ditch.
But we did just have... And, nothing closes because of the snow. I know in other parts of the country, things close down because they got half an inch of snow, and they don't have the plows or the salt or any means to take care of it. No, we can literally get 12 inches of snow and you're going to school.
They close school sometimes because they get a certain number of days every year, and they take advantage of them. So as winter progresses, they'll close for less severe stuff because they're like, it's a free day to close.
We haven't used them yet. But sporting events will still go on. Kids will still have practices on those days. Businesses don't close. Everything's open. You still have to, continue to do what you got to do. So I don't know why we all act like snow is terrible.
What's it like where you're at? Are you in one of those places where an inch of snow shuts down everything? Well, or are you in one of the places where you get 2 feet of snow and it's just another day in the office,
Just keep going. Well, I remember when I was in high school, we went down to the national convention for the NWTF, and that was in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Is the National Wild Turkey Federation, for those of you who don't know.
And so we went to Charlotte, and it started snowing, just sprinkling. What is it?
Light flurries.
Light flurries. And it was during our spring break. So it was not normal timing for them to get snow or whatever. And all across the news, everything was shut down. Schools were closed and there wasn't any accumulation on the ground. And my brother and I were amazed. We were like, this is the funniest thing ever. They're closing school for this? But it's because they just can't. What are they going to do? We have, you should see the giant ice
waves?
Salt.
Salt trucks.
The salt, where they store all the salt and the salt trucks, they're all super excited, ready to get out for the first snow.
And it's a late start to winter, so I feel like they got a lot of salt to get rid of because they are laying it down right now. These guys have them on wide open, just throwing the salt.
Right, I'm it's not even...
You can't save it till next year, and you have to stock up, so you don't know what you're going to get, and it's almost middle of January, and we got our first real winter weather of the year.
Right. We are on the east side of Michigan, so we don't get the lake effect that the west side gets. So they got hammered over there, and we barely got 2-3 inches laid.
Right. We got the 0-degree weather, which I'm fine with because it's freezing the mud, thank God. But I didn't want a lot of snow because it makes it hard to get work done outside when everything's buried. And we only got a few inches, so that's great. The other side of the state, my brother's like, I can't do anything. It's 2 feet of snow. That I don't miss. So living over here on this side of the state, which is a huge difference from the Lake Michigan, the lake effect snow, you don't realize it. We grew up on the west side, and we just thought it was Michigan. That's how much snow you got. And I remember my first time coming over to this side of the state in the winter when I was in the Air Force, and I would come over to the east side of the state because that's where the base was I was based out of, and we'd have 3 feet of snow back home, and I would get over here, and it would be green grass, not growing, but you could see green grass, and I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? And they were like, what do you mean, what happened? I'm like, there's no snow here. And they're like, yeah, we don't get a lot of snow. And just learning the difference, I'm calling Rachel and being like, oh my gosh, they have grass over here. And she was like, whatever.
I'm plowing the driveway for the 3rd day in a row. Thank you.
Or I'd come home from drill weekend and I'd have to shovel the driveway before I could get in it because there'd be a fresh 2 feet of snow in the driveway. It was just crazy from 2-3 days where I didn't realize it was snowing because I was on the east side and it wasn't.
Yeah, it took us probably 5 years to actually begin to realize, winter isn't coming. Every year we're, bracing for winter, and we're like, wait, it's spring already? What happened to winter? It took us...
There was one year where we did get hammered with snow over here, and nobody was used to it because it's not typical.
It made the news. It was everybody just couldn't even believe it. But it was basically what a west side of Michigan winter was.
It was just a typical day from the west side.
I was like, this is nothing. You people need to get over it. It's just when you get these really low temps that I don't like, because I don't even want to go outside.
But speaking of the really low temps, what's something you're absolutely loving right now?
The boiler.
The outdoor wood burner.
That was the best install we've ever done, I think.
She questioned me when I bought it, and rightfully so, because a lot of times I buy stuff like that and it sits.
Do nothing with it.
Or it takes 2 or 3 years to get going, to get done. And this, we got done. We've had a few issues with it that we've worked through because it was an older unit, a used unit, and we're still learning it. There's still some stuff I have to fix on it, but man,
it
being a good
changes
purchase,
life.
it's a good purchase. Like, I don't regret or dread. I don't dread when before with propane, because propane's expensive.
Yes.
When I would hear the furnace running, I was like, why is there not wood on the stove behind us, the wood burning insert, which we have wood in right now, just for a little bit of ambiance, and because it is 0 degrees out, so it just helps take the load off the boiler. But without it, we'd still be warm and fine. So I'd no longer dread hearing the furnace turn on, thinking that it's money burning up, because it's literally just cleaning up the wood yard with the old scrap junk wood that a lot of people call it, giving us this heat from a little bit of electric. So me being a thrifty guy, I love it. I love the hot water. I love the warm house. Like,
that
Rachel's
hot water is
loving it.
insane. I burn my hand every time I hand wash dishes these days because I forget and I turn it on and I'm like, whoa, like I yell every single time.
But the dishes are getting cleaner. The laundry's getting cleaner. You can wash in hot water and not have to have Dad be like, no, put it on cold. So.
Oh my, so you know how many times he'd come in and be like, who ran this on warm? It, like, just
because we have an electric water heater. That thing costs a fortune, but no more, because now well, the water going into the water heater is heated by the boiler. So the water heater basically doesn't have to run except for to keep the water at temperature. And it's in a warm room, so it's barely going to be on. I expect our electric bill to go to half.
Right.
I could be drastically mistaken.
No, the last time we had our electric bill dramatically drop, they
came and put a new meter in.
No, and then they charged us like, you should have been paying this, and gave us like a $3,000 bill. They're like, no, we show that your bill should have been this.
Because they said, because we had electric heat upstairs, and when we put this wood burning insert in the winter, we didn't even turn that furnace on. The breaker to it was off. And they said that our meter was broken and back charged us for what it used to be. And I'm like, no, it's not. Our heat's not turned on. Our electric heat is turned off. So that's what the difference was. And I had to fight them and fight them and fight them.
Plus, we had that dog fence, too, that we turned off.
Well, they just wanted to make up a charge because they felt that my bill shouldn't have gone down that much. Instead of asking if anything changed.
I'm like, I think we should call them and say, FYI, we put in an outdoor
Right.
water
I feel like they're going to try to say our
boiler.
meter's broke again and hit us with a new charge.
Because they're going to come and try to overcharge us.
I hope not. But I'm looking forward to seeing what our bill goes down to.
Definitely I'm loving that. That is a love, for sure. Something else that I'm loving that you have nothing to do with, but I started a new workout program, some girl I'm following on YouTube, and I love it. I'm having fun with it, so that's good. And you're just so happy for me, aren't you?
I am, because my workout is outside. I was outside moving. She's like, aren't you going to work out this morning? I'm like when I go outside to work, that's my workout. That's one of the reasons I love doing firewood. I love doing all of this stuff because you don't have to go to a gym to work out. Like, there's a reason I'm chiseled and so fit. It's
all he's doing is complaining about being fat lately.
I am a little bit heavy right now from eating junk food.
Teasing. I was like, you going to do this workout with me? And he's like, no.
I go outside. My workout's outside. And that's why I love doing what I do. So it's a rewarding workout because you accomplish something during it.
So that's something that I'm loving. And if anybody's curious, I'll link her YouTube in our description just so you can follow along. But she's great, and I'm having fun.
That's what it's all about.
I had a really killer workout today. It's kind of fun because I have an Apple Watch now. I got it, in September, just because our daughter's phone got stolen when she's at school in Florida, and we told her, or for her birthday, she wanted an Apple Watch with service on it so that she didn't have to worry about taking her phone with her if she goes somewhere suspect. She didn't have to worry about hiding it so her phone won't get stolen again. And she can still take calls and texts on her watch. So they were running like a buy one, get one deal. So I got one too. And it's fun because it has like the fitness thing and it tells me like what my heart rate is and, you know, like how many steps you have, how many calories you're supposedly burning based on, I don't know what parameters. But I just like it to see, you know, like the measurable, my heart rate is very elevated during these exercises, which is good. So
it's probably what my heart rate does when I get a good deal at an auction. Which I did buy some stuff at auction the other day, and I don't know what it is because it was on the other side of the state, and my dad went and picked it up for me. So I'm looking forward to getting to go pick it up and see exactly what I bought, and we'll bring that to you guys on the channel as well. Cause
I feel like this is the first time I'm hearing of this.
No, I told you about it. You always say that because you don't listen to me when I talk sometimes, and then you forget. But it's I bought it a while ago actually, but I haven't had time to go pick it up. So I need to get over there when it's not a blizzard and pick this up so we can bring it to the channel, and so I can see if I got taken or if I got a good deal getting my heart rate up.
That's why auctions are so effective. You feel this desperation, this panic, this adrenaline, like, gotta win it, be the last one to bid, and then you're like so
I've literally
excited.
Seen stuff on auctions sell for more than you can go buy it brand new because of the competitive spirit of people. And a funny story about online auctions, a guy I work with, well, I actually got two stories with the two same guys. So one guy I work with, you know, when you bid on an online auction, if you've never done it before, you have usernames, and it's not necessarily your email, your name. You create an account, and you have a username. So this guy was bidding on something, and then someone else bid, and he's like, oh, you're not going to beat me, and he started bidding, and then he saw the other guy's username, and he's like, I don't like that name at all. There's no way you will win this. So because he didn't like the guy's username and he didn't want to get beat by him, he bought a car with a blown engine that was probably worth $2,000 or $3,000, and he paid $9,000 for it. He didn't even want the car, but he didn't want to get beat by a guy with a stupid username. And now he's like, I don't know why I did that. It was the dumbest thing I've ever done. Now I got a broken car sitting in my driveway that he paid 3 or 4 times the value for just because he didn't want to get beat.
Oh my gosh.
And then that same guy had told another guy I work with about this online auction, and there was something on there that he was buying for someone else, but he didn't tell his buddy who he just told about the auction. And so him and his buddy were both trying to buy the same thing for another person, and they kept bidding against each other. And then the one guy I work with said something to the other guy like, man, this guy keeps bidding against me. And he's like, oh my gosh, that's me. And they were bidding each other up, trying to buy something for someone else. So those are two sort of funny online auction stories.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, well, that kind of happened in 2020 when the housing market went bananas and people were buying houses they didn't even want just because they had to win. They had to outbid. They were paying, you know, $50,000 over asking and waiving inspections and, you know, guaranteeing appraisals because they were like, man, we've got to win this. I don't care what we do. And yeah, and then they had very much buyer's remorse.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like, I think everyone just has a little bit of competitiveness in them. And winning is fun, no matter what it is, whether it's an auction or, you know, a sporting event, a board game. Like, I don't know. Are you guys as competitive as we are in our household? Because no matter what it is, we're competing at it. It could be
like
anything.
It could be, there's anything. We're out somewhere and they're like, okay, we're going to play this game. And we're like, what are the rules? What do we got? Because we got to figure out a loophole to win outside of your basic rules. And it just, yeah, all of us do that. Every single one of us. It's, yeah, but whatever. There's nothing wrong with that.
I want an auction, and we're going to see what it is.
Yeah.
I have potential to have gotten a great deal, and I have a potential to have not gotten a deal at all.
Right. Well, if there's another Kubota tractor in there, that'd be a great deal.
It's not a Kubota tractor, but we'll see.
Oh, now I'm scared. All right. Well, what else are you loving besides the boys?
I'm absolutely loving our son Nate's wrestling season. This kid He's a junior this year, and wrestling in high school is a tough sport because when you come in as a freshman, you're 14, 15 years old, and you are competing. It goes by weight class, so you may be going against a 17, 18, or possibly 19-year-old in the same weight class. If you're 13, 14, and someone else is 17, 18, your bodies are drastically different at the same weight class, so it's tough to compete in. And so his first 2 years, he was decent, but he wasn't great, and he realized it. He sees where he needed to be, and that kid put in the work. And then the season started pretty disappointingly with a sprained ankle. He healed from that, was back at practice, and sprained the other ankle even worse. Got back from that. Like, we're all excited because he put in a ton of work. Like, he got stronger. He got leaner. His body started changing. And then he missed the whole first half of the season. Got better, went to a really tough tournament, and lost the championship bout by 1 point or 2 points in the last few seconds. So that was tough, but it was much better than he'd ever done in the past. And then he got sick. So this kid can't win right now, but even being sick, he went out and beat kids that would have destroyed him before.
Yeah.
And kids are like, how are you so strong? How is your grip strength so strong? And it's just because he's put in the work, and now we as parents get to be proud and see it, and it's rewarding to us knowing that we teach them, you want results, put in the work. Don't expect someone else to do it for you. Don't expect someone to hand it to you. Like, you have to do the hard things in life to get the good things sometimes, and he's experiencing that right now. And so that's something I'm loving, watching him go out there, looking at him and just going, wow. That kid has changed immensely. Like, I don't even realize he's our son sometimes. Like, Rachel the other day, she's like, where's Nate? And I'm like, he's right there. And she was looking right at him. But he's just changed so much in the last year that it's fun to watch and exciting.
It is funny, too, because his weight class, it's 165. And there's some pretty big boys that are pretty stacked, beefy. Like, the physicality of some of these wrestlers, I'm just astounded that these high school boys are able to get that muscular and chiseled at their young age. Like, I feel like they need to be a little older to be that way. But
and our kids have always been the ones who they go out there, and they're the same weight class, and you're like, how are these kids the same weight? Like, that kid looks twice the size of ours, and I think this is where you're going.
Right, so I'm watching these boys warm up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that kid is huge. Like, I hope that's not who Nate has to wrestle. And, like, we all just check it out. And then sure enough, that's the kid who comes out on the mat. And then Nate comes out, and he's bigger than this kid.
Our kid's the big-looking kid.
What? Like, that kid looked huge out there. Like, how is my kid the big one now?
But I feel like, you live with him every day, so you see him, so you don't realize, until you see him compared to someone else.
So yeah, it's kind of fun. It's fun to be on the winning side, right?
Right. To be the one that the other parents are like, oh my gosh, our kid has to wrestle that kid.
Right. Well, and that's a fun thing. Like, I will always promote wrestling. I think it's a fantastic sport, and not just for what you go through as a wrestler and learn about yourself as a wrestler, but the parents, the community here for the wrestling. Like, we all love and support every single kid out there, and everybody cheers for and roots on every single kid. Like, the crowd erupts when the kid wins. Like,
yeah, kids you don't even know that you just get to see and watch, and you see the work they put in.
And yeah, like, you watch them progress from the beginning, and everybody's like so proud. Like, we're all so proud of all of these kids, even though they're not ours. And it's just fun to watch. Like, during one of Nate's matches last week, like, to see the family in front, he wins, and they both like raise their arms and are cheering. Like, we don't hang out with them. They're not our close friends. They're just part of the wrestling family. And it's just
different than any other sport in a lot of different ways. One, if you have two kids that are fighting for the same spot, they wrestle, and the winner gets the spot. It's not like baseball or basketball or football where the coach picks who's going to be your starting running back or your quarterback or your shortstop. You decide where you're going to be by what weight you come in at, and if you can beat everyone else at that weight. And then when you go out to compete, if you don't like the results you're getting, there's a way to change it. It's work harder than everybody else.
Right.
Like, there's gifted people and all that, but wrestling is one where usually the winner is the one who put in the most work.
Right.
It's not like you can just be a superstar, really gifted baseball player and have poor work ethic and still be one of the best on the team. Like if you have poor work ethic in wrestling, it's going to show. Yeah. You will know, and you'll see the kids who grind, the kids who might not have the natural born talent, but they put in the work and they've outworked everyone else, and that's how you change it. And that's how I think it helps people succeed in life, because you realize what you can do, what your body's capable of, what your mental ability is capable of. And I know a lot of people talk about it all the time, like Joe Rogan talks about it. Like wrestlers are a whole different mindset. And that's one thing I love about it, because you learn so much about yourself.
Yes, you learn how to win graciously, how to lose graciously.
And you learn that losing sucks. You want to see kids cry, go to a youth wrestling tournament. And kids will be crying everywhere. And they're not hurt. They're just humbled because they just got beat.
They put everything they had into it, and it still wasn't enough.
So then a lot of them learn to work harder, and then they're making other kids cry.
Well, and you don't quit. I think that's the biggest thing. Like they're committed to the season. You learn what you're so they can lose continually, but they keep putting themselves out there. And it's like, that's fine. What are you going to learn about this match? What did you learn? You had to do different. And just to see it like click, and to see these boys like just get better and have it change. It's
one of Nate's teammates is a prime example of this. And I remember, like, because he started wrestling in youth wrestling, and he would wrestle Nate because they were a similar weight. And he actually told Rachel, like, a few years in.
He's like 6th grade.
Nate would just beat this kid up. Like, not beat him up, but, like, dominate him in wrestling. Because Nate was a little monster. And so this kid told Rachel, like, the only reason I keep wrestling is because I want to beat your kid. And that kid's parents had told me, early on in high school, like, he would go out there and it'd be JV matches and he would get beat pretty badly. And they were like, I just love that he's doing it. I love that he's learning. We don't ever expect him to win. He, right now, as a junior, has the 3rd most wins on the team. The kid is just going out there, and he's put in the work year after year after year. Right. And seeing the reward in his parents' face and in his face and just the whole team, like it's something the kid never expected. His parents never expected. I'll be honest with you, no one ever expected.
It just wasn't natural. It wasn't his natural sport. No. Like some kids you look at and you're like, oh yeah, he's naturally going to do good at wrestling.
But he goes out there, and you now are to the point where you expect him to win. And it's awesome. This is what I love about it.
Right.
So
it's really fun. So yeah, we are loving wrestling season. It's good to be back. Even though it's a team sport, it's still individual. So you get kind of both aspects of, sometimes it gets a little, I don't know what word for it. When you're on team sports and you got to deal with some
get tired.
Difficult characters.
You get worn down.
Like we're just ending Zachary has basketball season, and that he just had his last game, but you just get kind of just really sick of some characters on the team. That's all we'll say.
There's something we're hating. Basketball. And we love wrestling. We don't hate basketball, but that is probably, out of all the sports I've ever played, that's the one I've never been good at. I'm good at most sports. And basketball, just not my jam. It's not my thing.
I played basketball in school. I liked it a lot.
She beat me in pig when she was like 9 months pregnant. That's how bad I am at basketball. It's a dumb sport.
No, but we could tie that into something I hate inauthentic people. And I spot them a mile away. And what drives me nuts is when other people don't spot that they're so inauthentic. And I'm blown away that they can like fool the masses into believing they're a certain thing. When I see it in like 2 seconds of observation, I'm like instantly, I'm on to you.
And a lot of those people, once you get to know them, then it's really obvious. But
yeah, but I still don't know how they end up fooling all these people.
It works, man. It does. There's people. Everyone knows someone like that,
Yeah, I'm talking locally. I'm not talking anybody that YouTube people.
No.
I haven't ran into anybody that I've had that thought where they're just inauthentic, but through YouTube. But in person, in small towns, it's just everybody's trying to get something, trying to use somebody for something. And it's so obvious to me. It's disgusting to watch. And
it works, though.
It works for them.
But we try to teach our kids to be the opposite, Have respect for other people. Just be a good person, and don't always just look out for yourself and see what you can get from others. See what you can help others with. So
Right. Sometimes it's better to be alone than to be surrounded by snakes.
Rachel hates snakes.
Yeah, no, I do. But anything else that you're hating?
Not really. I mean, it quit raining finally, so that's
The
cool.
rain.
It's
The rain is
now,
Heath's arch nemesis. It's like his kryptonite. It takes away all his
It's the worst.
power.
The mud and the rain. I've never remembered a year like this. It's just been nonstop rain.
Well, and it does seem very weird that here we are mid-January and like in another week and a half it's supposed to rain instead of snow.
Yeah, it's 0 degrees right now, and we got a little bit of snow, and the ground is starting to freeze under the snow. And then in a week, it's going to be in the 40s and raining again.
I mean, I'd rather be in like tropical temperatures and dealing with like a rain every day random than
I felt
this.
like the other day I was out working. When the snow started coming in, it was a rainy snow. And I was just sitting out there getting soaked, getting stuff picked up before the storm, stacking wood, doing all these chores, trying to rush to beat the clock as it started raining, heavy, wet, snow and rain mixed. And I was getting drenched. And I've been just driving in the rain and the wipers on and off and just everything. And I just started thinking, like, how did Noah do this? Like, back building the ark when it rained, I feel like, man, he must have been so depressed.
He did. That was his epiphany the other day.
Poor Noah.
Poor Noah, he says.
But it's not raining now, and I'll take a little bit of
now.
snow because I can get out there and not sink in. Well, I've been slipping on the ice. I almost fell 2 or 3 times today, but it's a different kind of slipping. It's not as bad.
Right. It almost makes me feel like, I think people, okay, here we go. People in Michigan live in Michigan just so they can complain about the weather. That is.
We do. It's
that's
rarely
it.
weather that everyone's happy with.
Everyone loves talking about the weather, and it doesn't matter where you go. You're checking out at the grocery store, and I got informed that there was a big snowstorm coming by my bagger, and I was like, oh yeah, and I have to like carry on this conversation with him as he's, bagging my groceries. Everybody loves to talk about the weather, and more so complain about the weather.
Well, and something that Rachel loves is that we mentioned earlier, the difference in the weather between the west side and the east side of the state. So our parents will call and be like, oh my gosh, how are you guys doing in the snowstorm? And Rachel's like, there's no snow here. And it blows their mind. They're like, what do you mean? Like it's a blizzard? And she's like, no, there's no snow at all. But they think that their weather is our weather.
Like I'll say, oh yeah, it's sunny here. Sunny? It's raining right now. Like
how's it sunny?
We're 3 hours away from you.
Yeah, we're in the same state, but it's very different weather.
Yeah, they still cannot believe that we have different weather going on from one side of, it's pretty funny.
It is.
And on that note, that's all we have for you. Just a few things we're loving, few things we're hating, and share with us anything you guys got on your minds. Just give us something you love, something you hate for the week.
So thanks for listening, guys. Hope you guys are enjoying the Hardworking Man podcast. We love all the interaction. We know that there's a lot of people who really love these, and we love your feedback and your interaction. So let us know, what do you love and what do you hate? And what are you proud? You got kids you're proud of? What have they accomplished? Let us know because we're letting you know. So
brag on them. Your kids need to feel like, you're proud of them.
Right, and let them know you're proud of them. So
right.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great week.
Yep, bye.